I was recently isolated from my studio where I typically record videos and still wanted to get some vintage lighter content created, so I decided to experiment with YouTube's integrated dream screen AI, not in the typical AI sense that you might think, but to create some claymation videos. I threw it a curveball or two, including asking it to have a Archaeopteryx playing around on the floor. I only knew what that was from reading books to my grandchildren recently. The AI made some other dinosaurs look small and included them as well. It's a cool little tool that's pretty easy to use, where you just type out and describe the scene that you want it to create. I haven't used it for any of the other effects other than the claymation, but I just described the workshop and the way I wanted it to look, the kind of posters and what I wanted to see in the background, the appearance of the man who was holding the lighter or the match or the pipe or the hookah or whatever it was that I happened to be describing in that particular 6-second clip. I was very careful not to ask the AI to do anything objectionable or create any images that were objectionable, though I did have it blowing smoke rings and also had the room catching on fire, but I figured that was just a reasonable thing that could occur when someone was smoking. Most people would look at that and think that could be a dangerous situation, but I was surprised when suddenly there was a child sitting on the floor in some of these clips, and the child was actually smoking, or at least had a pipe in his mouth. When I left the description the same and asked the AI to remove any children that were in it, it told me it could not create images like that. At that point, I removed a lot of the crazier stuff from the scene and tried to focus it down into something that I might be able to actually use for a video. I asked it to have a woman smoking a hookah instead of the child that I never asked for, and it was reluctant to do that, but eventually produced these last two snippets that you see with different scenes and descriptions.